All right. All right. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining us this afternoon to go through the uh, virtual broadcast that we have here in our studio. Right here in this studio, it's not a very big room. It's almost like maybe 4 meter by 3 meter. Just an ideal room for enough to do some simple broadcast. Um, and over here, more important is actually the equipment that we need. So today we are going to go through some of the very important equipment that you definitely need in order to be able to do this broadcast. And okay, I just want to introduce the team member. Over here, our crew, we have myself, Ruth, as well as Esther, and then we have Constance, and we have Ballista. So basically, every one of us, we have a certain role to play in maintaining this studio. And Constance herself, she's more on the technical part, so she'll be doing a lot more explanation later on. And Ballista is our AV engineer. He's our audio engineer, but he's not here today. But he has already set up all the sound system, everything. And then also we have Esther. Esther is also helping Constance on the IT as well. And we have a few cameras. So the cameras will be sort of already fixed to certain position. And later on we'll switch to show you how this camera is so effective in helping us. All right. So Ruth herself, she's very familiar with all the computer graphics and preparation. So she's the one who's doing a lot of these graphics things, and she's also familiar with the system itself, more on the operative part. Okay, that's where we need a lot of help. So she's been helping quite a bit in all the broadcasts and the recording. All right. So, okay, without further ado, right now I would just want to invite Constance to come out and share with us the technical part of it. All right, okay, let's welcome Constance.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Okay, so basically today I will be just going through some of the setup that we have in this studio. So as you see on my right, okay, you will see this diagram. Okay, this is just a basic setup that we have here. So basically, I'm going through. I will be separating it to visual that consists of pictures, consists of animation, videos. Pictures meaning it can be a background like what you see behind, or it can be like a camera view. Okay, so basically what we are using is we call it a TV switcher. Switcher is called A10 Extreme, A10 Mini Extreme by Blackmagic, where it's a switcher where you control all the different screens together. Okay, then the visual, then we will also have the audio part where I will just explain in detail later. So what we have basically is we have this master control, we call it the A10 Mini Extreme in this case that we are using. We are using this to actually control the different views. For example, the PowerPoint slides that we are having right now, the cameras, and also any media that is actually going to showcase during the event itself. So as what we have all this, we also have the two laptops that is controlling the master thing, where one of the laptop, basically what you see is the Zoom output, where everything, the visuals and audios is actually linked in via from the A10 Mini Extreme, where what you see now on Zoom, what you are seeing me right now and the pictures behind is actually all output and control from the A10 itself. Okay? So the audio itself is also via controlled and linked in via the laptop. So another laptop is basically what we have where we put in the slides. Any videos that we want to showcase, the slides, the PowerPoint slides, lyrics, etc. Okay? So what you see now is actually the visual setup. Okay, so without further ado, I will just briefly go through the A10 Mini Extreme, where we call it the TV switcher, the broadcast switcher that we are using right now. Okay, so what you see now on my top right, you see there is this physical switch. So this is actually the real thing that you see, the physical switch that you see. There's a lot of buttons. Some people prefer to just use this button to actually manually control the different cameras views, whether it is a PowerPoint slide now or a camera right now. Okay, what you see on my bottom right is basically you see a backstage control. Okay, we have Reverend Ruth there. So it's like backstage control where usually we do that in our live Zoom broadcast. Okay, so right now where you see her controlling, okay, where she is actually the A10 software control. So this is like a software that you can do some settings, you can load the pictures in, you can load the backgrounds like what you have here. Okay, then we switch necessarily. Understand so far? Okay. Okay, so we also have the what you see on the right side of the monitor. You see this multi-view. Okay, you see a lot of pictures where you see the on the top right of the monitor is actually the real program that we are seeing. So this is out. What we are seeing on Zoom, we also see it here. So this is where our crew will actually control and decide which angle or which slides to change, especially during a live broadcast event. Okay, so I will let Ruth to actually go through a bit in depth on the software control itself.
Hello, I'm here. Okay, you can hear me, right? Now, basically, we just need to do a little bit of explanation on follow up with what Constance has been explaining. Now, when we are doing the switching, now for example, we are actually using a green screen. Green screen means if you are looking at this main cam one, where our background is actually nothing. It's just green. Okay, so it's just a background green. So what happened is, if I could just control from here, from my background, I can actually change the media. For example, if I would like to change it into something like this, the green still stays put because it's a chroma key. So what happened is, whatever it is black, it will turn into pictures. So what happened is, now you can actually see Constance, the background is changing. It's because of the chroma key itself. So basically, chroma key, it really depends on whether you want to use it or not. Because some people, they say that I want to use a live background. I just want to use a live background where I have a beautiful garden. I want to showcase, the place that I'm in. So you can actually opt not to use a chroma key. But for us, because this is a studio setup, so we prefer a changeable background. Okay, so in the software control itself, you can actually see that I can actually do all the controls over here. Let's say if I want to change another setting, it can be actually easily done on the software control itself. Okay, so it's quite nice, right? So now you're changing back. Okay, you'll be also very curious to ask, why do you have all the cameras here? Now, this A10 Pro, A10 Mini Pro, and A10 Extreme Pro. So basically, and A10 Mini Extreme ISO, there are three types. When you can actually do the super source itself. Okay, so super source means I can actually input my box, because I have three cameras. Because just now, Constance mentioned that we have three cameras here. One is the main camera where you actually see her shooting at the background. She's talking to you, where Joseph is also talking to you. And now I'm actually at both backgrounds, where I have a side cam and I have another camera, which is a more detailed camera, where you can, the handheld camera, which is indicated here. So what happened is this multi-view gives you an overview of what you're going to output into your Zoom platform. Now, for example, now I would like to change the super source. I can actually change the picture or the camera that I want to input. Now, for example, if I go to my software control, I have the different boxes. Now, if I would like to have Constance to be on stage again, just now I was saying that without the background, it is actually like this. So you actually see her, you know, actually the real background is a green background. Okay? Interesting, right? So I can actually do the box control over here. So the super source enables you to do a lot of functions. For example, you are doing an interview where they have people at different places. You can actually input, you know, their cameras or their visual inputs into the boxes that you want them to be. Now, for example, if I would like to change my input again, for example, you are in Zoom now, I can actually see all of you on Zoom. Okay, so this is my Zoom input, where you can see over the side. So I will change the Zoom input, and you can also put it as a projection, where just now Constance is actually doing her slides presentation here. So all this can be done, can be switched. So for the box control for the SuperSource application, the maximum output for this A10 mini that they're offering now is actually 4 boxes. So you can actually rededicate your box into small box, big box. You want a rectangle. You know, there are many forms where you can actually do a design on it, and then you let it flow. Okay, you just show whatever you want. Okay, so this is actually by your creativity. Praise God. Okay, so I'm gonna just switch back to my cam now. This is a handheld. Okay, so that's why you can see me. So that is why when you're doing explanation, or if you're teaching, you're guiding, you can actually use the super source to help you, you know, to feature whatever things that you want to feature for your client. So this is actually very useful. Now, like I explained, in this multi-view, this is actually very, very important, because besides the picture, besides the visual exporting out to Zoom, where you want your audience to see, there is also recording input, output, and then there is also the audio mixer, which afterwards Constance will actually explain a little bit more, you know, on the audio interface itself. Okay, so basically this ATEM actually offers a few. We use ATEM is because it is very convenient. It is using all the HDMI system to actually do it. Okay, so later on, you know, Constance just now, she was already explained. So the inputs that we have, they are actually all the HDMI interface. Okay, so for example, if you have a camera, you can use the HDMI to actually outsource your video output. So that means to say that even if you are using computer, for example, now we have the computer over here. This one no battery. The computer here, we can actually do an output, okay, on the computer itself, because computer itself actually runs with HDMI. Okay, so this is something which is you might want to explore. That means also using iPad and all these things. Hallelujah, praise God. Okay, so now without further ado, I'm going to hand over back to Constance to talk about the audio. Yes.
Okay, so everyone, with all this set up, right? So far, any questions?
Yes.
Yes?
So basically, for your system, your ATEM you're using, or all the video system you're using HDMI to connect the outputs.
Yes, you're right. So basically, we use the HDMI cable to actually link up your cameras then directly to the ATEM Extreme. There's this HDMI input behind the switch that you can actually input them.
So for each of your camera, you will have output with HDMI, lah, right?
Yes, you're right.
So if it's in another room, you have
And
to
we
wire
all.
the cable with your ATEM, right?
Yes.
So once the ATEM have the capture the input, you will go through a computer first to do the whatever software is it?
No. So if you have another camera, so you just go through the ATEM, then you can
So
actually go through.
once you go to ATEM input, right?
Yeah.
So if you want to do like that's not the software, right? You can see all the different camera source, right?
Yes.
Will come out as an output, right? From the
Yes.
ATEM.
Yeah.
So that ATEM will go to a laptop, right? Maybe a Mac one.
Yeah.
So from there you will control whether you go to which application, like you go to Zoom and things like that, right?
Yes. Yes. You are correct.
Then so if for example if there's a speaker from maybe in a remote location, you want to capture their video input. Do
Mm.
you use like the Zoom NDI or you use Skype NDI? Do you have like for that do you have like any
So basically, what we do when we have external speaker coming in for our live events is we basically hooked up another laptop. So we have the external speaker view input with the laptop into ATEM, one of the HDMI input, for example.
so
Okay.
now when you connect you use like which you use Skype or use Zoom?
Zoom.
Or we use Zoom. Mainly we use Zoom. But I think Zoom or Skype is not a issue. I think as long as you can get your laptop to input into the software itself.
So that means you need to have like for example you got external speaker you need like 2 Zoom account, right?
Yes. But usually we will just spotlight that person if it's a same conference.
Or same conference.
Mm.
Okay. Because sometimes I see like some people they do like they got a few like foreign speakers like 1, 2, 3, 4, spotlight and they go. So
Yeah.
sometimes you can have more creative control over that.
Yes. Yes.
Can use super
Then
sounds.
so
Mm.
you do not have like any camera that connects by Wi-Fi and all by HDMI port, right? And not by HDMI wires, right?
Yeah. We usually connect via the HDMI to cables.
Then the software is it provided with the ATEM or you have
Yes, it usually comes with the ATEM software control. Yeah, that comes with the ATEM Extreme, the switcher itself.
So for example, what I'm looking is at the slides, right? So
Mhm.
this one is also using the software to put the picture together.
We use like you can use PowerPoint, but we use Keynote here, which is a Mac-based application.
So do you use like OBS? No.
No, not in our setup, but there's some other churches that also use OBS. Set very much depends on how you want to set up on your site. But if you are using the ATEM Extreme, my recommendation is just use their software because there's a lot of hidden controls that you can manipulate with. Like for example, you see there's this picture in picture.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the layering. So I think these are actually inputs that they have included in the software control, in the software itself, where you can actually set up, you can load different medias in, then you can control the inputs.
I see. So in fact, all the layering, all this is from different inputs. Then we use the ATEM software to just layer everywhere as well.
Yes, you're right.
So including the green screen.
Yes. So green screen, we actually have this key where we just key out the green screen, but of course you have to light the whole green screen as per like lightings for suitable for green screens. So we basically have like 4 different lights here in this studio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. So maybe I can just move on to the audio side if everyone is okay.
Another thing is that because I saw you like controlling the stuff right over here. So your control is it using a Wi-Fi control or using a wired control?
We use a remote control because basically we have the iPads and everything set up because we are a Mac, as in like Mac user here.
Okay.
Yeah.
So your remote control is using what kind of interface? Like, do you use I mean, how do you remote control the A10, right? I mean, you are controlling the A10 right now, right? Are you?
Yeah. I think everything is done via the software, because we actually have Ruth there sitting and controlling for
Oh.
me. Yeah, it's not. It's, the slides are wired control. I think it's a bit difficult for us to show you at this point of time, when you have your software, your setup, like you know how you want to set up. Then maybe we can actually advise you in detail lah.
So for your slides, is also HDMI cable to the
It will be in via the laptop.
via the laptop. So are you controlling the slides?
Yes, I'm controlling the slide on stage.
On stage. So in fact, you have a laptop here that is connected to the A10.
Yes, you're right.
So maybe I would like to
Yeah.
interrupt. Basically, because we are running a small studio here. So what happened is, because we are also very self-operational, so that is why we try to remote all our things together. Like what Constance has been mentioning, she said that if you want to do all this remote, you really have to depend on your software. Because for us, when we are using Keynote, they already have the application of the remote control. You can use your iPhone. Sometimes we use our iPhone to control our slides, our Keynote slides, and sometimes we use our iPad to control the Keynote slides. Now, when I'm talking about Keynote, it's more to presentation. But let's say if you have Pro Presenter, you can also use your Pro Presenter to combine with A10 software to actually put out your lyrics or your wanted titles. So that one, it's also quite handy. Okay, so it really depends on your software, you know, how you want to actually put out your presentation. Okay, for us, we actually do multi. It depends on what we want. Yeah. Yes. And then just to mention, just you're talking about the output. Now, if you are buying the A10 Mini Pro, that one is only 4 output. So you got to limit your source to 4 outputs only. 4 HDMI inputs, okay, for you to output. But if you're getting like what we have, the A10 Mini Extreme, if you're getting the A10 Mini Extreme, then there are actually 8 inputs, and you know, you can output 8 altogether, you know, all your materials, all your things, okay? And if you're getting what we have, that is the A10 Mini Extreme ISO. Now, ISO allows you to actually film all your multi-views. That's how I'm explaining to you, right? All these multi-views, right? Whatever you see on the multi-view, you can actually record in a hard disk. So usually we have a small hard disk over here. It's actually just a T5 or T7, you can actually do all your recording into it. But of course, that one is actually very detailed, where I think, I don't think so, like this is a very convenient, not say convenient, this is not the platform to actually explain, because that is going to be like very detailed. So today, our explanation is all on what we have in our studio, and we can actually tailor-made if you are going to set up your own studio. Okay, based on your needs. Yeah, you can actually contact us. Yes.
So basically, only the A10 ISO can have the ability to output and at the same time record your outputs.
A10 Mini Pro can also do that. Like I said, the difference is only either the 4 inputs or the 8 inputs.
Oh, so it just need, for example, you just record the screen that you're showing now, right?
Yes.
All the streams that's coming in, right?
Now, I just want to reiterate. When I'm talking about the ISO and the A10 Extreme Pro, there's a difference between the A10 Extreme Pro ISO. Now, if you're just without the ISO, that means you can only record the program outfit. That means whatever that is output to your Zoom, okay, or your final product. I call it the final product, okay? You can only record the final product. But let's say if you get the extreme ISO with the ISO, then you can actually record all your super source, your media, whatever that is input on this multi-view, it can be recorded. Okay, and then of course that one you can go into detail and do a bit of research, because that one is another topic. Yeah, I hope it helps.
In your studio, so wherever Ruth, you have that in your studio.
Yeah. I get the most high end. I think we need it lah. We need it. Yeah, thank you so much. Okay, without further ado, now I pass the time back to Constance.
Okay, so I hope it explains a bit on what because I think this is a very new thing that everyone's is exposed to, but we just move on. For now, I will just touch a bit on the audio. So basically, we have this audio mixer, right? I believe everyone in a church setting, you actually have this already. Okay, where the audio mixer is basically where we have all the microphones. It can be a wired mic, it can be a wireless mic. Okay, it's all depend on your needs and how many speakers, how many people that is in the event. Then we have the equipments. It can link up to like the keyboard, drums, etc. It all links to the audio mixer, and the audio mixer can be set to line in the aux in to A10 mini extreme. So what you are hearing now is actually directly from our audio mixer. Then we link it, we route to the A10 mini extreme. Then the mini extreme will be, we set the zoom output to actually link that from. Okay, so y'all will be seeing this remote audio deck. Okay, so this is the expander where, because we have an external room where sometimes due to the broadcast, the events needs, we need to have another room set up where there's another camera. Then we have this setup where the mics, everything can be hooked up and everything route back to the A10 mini extreme. Yeah, so all in all, it's basically a very simple setup for us here. It's a small setup. So very much depending on everyone's need, you can actually cater and ask the different dealers to actually advise you on what is necessary for your setup.
So Sister Constance, how many audio input does the A10 mini extreme have?
2. I think 2
2.
line in, yeah.
2 inputs.
Yeah.
So you don't need an audio interface. The A10 mini have an audio interface. Let's go straight in there.
Yeah, that's provided if you only have 2 mics. But because for us, we have instruments, we have wireless mic, we have wired mics.
Yeah, then you have to use the mixer.
Yeah, that's why we need a mixer to actually route everything in.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Okay, so maybe we want to just touch a bit on the audio mixer that we have. So basically, it's the Allen and Heath SQ6.
So for us, we use the SQ6, but like I said, if it's a proper audio interface or console or mixer, you don't have to worry. Okay, so what happened is whatever that is mixed here, we just have to extend another stereo out into our mic 1 or mic 2. Then with the arrangement, because we are using it for broadcast, so usually the Zoom, it will actually read the ATEM, the interface and all those things. You just have to do the right application. Then you'll be able to actually project your broadcast effectively. Okay, so for audio interface, you can use any interface. Okay, but for us, we prefer Allen and Heath because I think it's still user friendly. I'm not selling this, please. I'm not selling this. But what I meant is like for us, it's easier usage because we also do production, music production, and all those things. So for us, we need it, okay. So basically, for audio setting, that one is easy lah. It's not that difficult. You just have to have a stereo out. And then output to the ATEM. And then, of course, the very important thing is your ATEM, you need to read, the Zoom need to connect, okay, or they need to communicate, okay, so that you get the right system, you get the right speaker, you get the right microphone, Okay, so yeah, this is about it. This is our studio setup. So for us at this moment of time, it's enough for us lah to use lah. So yeah, so I think this is a good sharing. Yeah. So without further ado, I think now I pass back the time to Joseph so that he can take some Q&A. Yes. Yeah.
Any questions?
Yes.
Reverend, can I ask?
Hey. Yes.
So I want to ask is, do you all have, because you all come out with the audio mixer, right? Do you all have like a monitoring system? Like some people have like a wireless monitoring system. So when you sing, you can get monitor what you are singing. Do you all have that?
Yeah. We do have. We have a confidence monitor, but our monitor is very big. No, lah. It's because we are using the projector. So of course, for the confidence monitor, you really have to also suit your needs. Okay, so if you have a TV, then you use TV. If you have a projector, you can actually use a projector. So for us, if you can just we can just move this behind us. Okay, just show you a bit. Yeah, you see? So this is our projector at the back. This is our confidence monitor. So you can see us, right? Yeah. So basically for the lyrics
We
and all
have
this,
a big
yeah.
okay, for this monitor, just to give you a little bit of understanding, we only provide monitor that is necessary. So over here we have a projector. Projector will project onto the screen right in front of us. So it's like as though you are in the church, you are at the AV counter looking at the stage. So over here, we don't have a stage here, but we have a projector screen where we can see the worshipper as well as the Zoomer who are inside. All right, this Zoom. And at the same time, we also have a monitor screen, which is for the ATEM control. We need that. And we have a monitor screen for the ATEM selection of the various, like what we showed earlier on. And these are basically the few screens that we need. And for the other room, which is more for additional extension where we have a musician coming in, we have dancer coming, then we have another screen as well.
I see.
Okay.
So Reverend Joseph, in fact, the ATEM can output a few different outputs, right?
At this moment, depend on the type of ATEM you use. If you're using the ATEM that we have, which is the ATEM Extreme ISO, that one we can output two. We can have two output. But for the Mini Pro, which most common purchase that people use, you can only output one. So the reason why we upgrade is also because we need to have two output instead of one output. So one output a little bit of a constraint because once you use it for the projector, which you can see like right now I can see the projector. Yeah, I can project the other areas as well. So that's the reason why we use the ISO. Actually, we upgraded. We started off last year when the COVID came in somewhere in March, April, and we started off with the Mini Pro, which is the first purchase. Then after that, we realized it's important to upgrade, so we upgrade to the Extreme. And then from the Extreme, we upgrade now to the ISO because we also need to do multi-track recording. So multi-track recording give us a lot more flexibility, so we can select certain part of the recording and they put it together before we upload to the YouTube or keep it for our record. Okay.
Reverend Joseph, how about the monitoring the audio system? Do you just use the speaker or do you have like some SU, they have earpiece?
We use in-ear. We use in-ear. Sometimes we do not want to disturb the surrounding because sometimes our meeting can be quite late due to different time zone from different country. Because our broadcasts are very much global, so we also have other people attending from other countries. So our meeting can stretch up to sometimes 1 a.m. in the morning or 12. So during these late hours, normally we go on in-ear. So nobody knows that we are doing worship, but over here, our worshiper, they can hear one another.
So Reverend Joseph, you take the output from the audio mixer, then you go into the in-ear system, right?
Yes. Everything on audio will go through the mixer. And anything, whether in or out, will go through the mixer. So this mixer is like the the brain or the heart system for all the input. Okay, and then the ATEM is for all the visual. All right, but because we need to synchronize the movement of the mouth and also the voice, so we need to put the sound input into the ATEM, and the ATEM will combine it with the visual. And when you look at it, you can see that the timing is all sort of synchronized. Otherwise, if you by the time you broadcast to the Zoom and you come back, the mouth movement and the voice may be deviated or due to delay. So sometimes that delay is a little bit uncomfortable. So we corrected this using the ATEM. So the ATEM is good because it's from one instrument going out.
So anytime you can in fact adjust the synchronization of time, back, things like that. Right.
ATEM you don't need to because it's already one input, one output out.
Automatically do it.
Yes, automatic. You don't need to adjust. Okay, other software I understand they need to adjust, but this one no need.
So the audio monitoring the email, what system do you use? Like, do you have?
Oh, we just use a very simple one. I mean, it's not complicated. Yeah, any brand. Actually, the in-ear is quite straightforward. You can buy any in-ear from any of those instrument audio visual shop. Yeah, or you can buy from from the online. I purchased my in-ear from online. So it's very simple. They send it to your house and you plug in and can use. But sometimes during daytime, if it's not too noisy, I don't use in ear. I will use it the speaker system. Like right now, I don't use the in ear because I'm turning on the speaker, so I can actually hear you at the same time. I can hear our team talking and worshiping.
Yeah, because you're using a dynamic mic, so it will not when the
Yeah.
voice is away, far away, then you
Okay. So, who else got any question? Please feel free to ask. This is a Q&A time, and after this, we can sort of finish our meeting. Pastor Andrew, any question you want to ask? Yes. Yeah. Okay. 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 All depend on budget. Okay. It all depend on budget. Now, if you are tight in the budget, then just go for the basic. And I think Mini Pro should be good enough. So you don't need to go straight into the extreme, but you can do the Mini Pro. Mini Pro, we've been using Mini Pro previously, and it works very well with us. So unless you want to do a lot more, like you want to do multi-recording, then the Mini Pro, you can't do it. Okay? So I would suggest that for entry point, okay, like for you when you're doing the entry, do use the Mini Pro first. Then after that, you get the feel of it. Then you want to upgrade, you can upgrade. It's not difficult to upgrade. It's quite easy to upgrade. All right, because most of the supplier, they don't mind, sort of trading in. So you can actually, most of our, in fact, we do a trade-in also. And I think that helps because otherwise, you want to upgrade can cost you a lot more money involved. Okay. Yes, please, yes. Yes, yes. Yeah, Josh. Yeah, Josh. At the moment, I'm not seeing anything, and also I don't think it's really because of the internet speed and also the location. So when you talk about synchronized, unless it's a hard cable connecting, like for example, one room to the other room is possible. Like what we did here, what we do here is that we connect another room to this room. So even worshippers on the other room, they can synchronize with us on the same network, same platform, and projecting up to Zoom. So no problem. But the moment when you have singers coming from another location, say maybe from another home or maybe from another country, now that will be a little bit of a challenge because like it or not, no matter how, there will be a delay. See, by the time you play, say for example, right now, Elder Joshua, you are playing the keyboard. If you play, then by the time another person from another location here, there is a delay there. A few, I can't remember, depend how long, all right? So there's a few seconds. So by the time he hear your sound, and when he sing, and you will hear his sound or her sound delay again. So it going to be very complicated. So at the moment, I'm not sure. I don't think there's any solution to it yet. But I believe that with technology upgrading, very soon we should be able to solve that problem. Yes, I do understand this is a lot of concern from a different church, different worship team, especially from different location, and you are not allowed to have too many people in one house. So that is a genuine situation that you are facing. You can do that, but then of course that is not a live thing anymore, because what we want is to have something more lively in the sense that, although we are in the Zoom, but we can communicate with you directly, right? So I think that is more interesting, because if you want to do recording, then you can download anything from YouTube. I mean, then you don't have the presence there, you know. Yeah. Okay, maybe we'll show the diagram again. Show me the diagram. Okay, I explain to you what is required, what is not good to have, and not really necessary to have. Okay, I explain to you, all right? Correct. I'll let you know the basic. Okay, basic for you to at least, usable. Okay, the basic is that very first thing, you definitely need the ATEM. Okay, because this ATEM is like connecting everything together to project to the Zoom. So without the ATEM, you can use other software, but you might find that there will be some inconvenience in the sense. So for our experience, we find that after exploring many methods, many ways, we finally find that the ATEM is still quite suitable for us, that we can put everything and easy to use. Okay, because for laymen, sometimes when I give you a software program, you start to go through a software program and you connect this, it's not easy. But with somehow other with a hardware like this, when I look at it, I just press and I just use it. Seems to be easier that sense. Okay, but each have his own preference, because some people, they don't want hardware, they want software, fine as well. So over here in ATEM, you have hardware and software. So I would say that you will at least need ATEM. You can go for an ATEM of a Mini Pro. All right, a Mini Pro, I think in the market right now, you can get it from maybe $600 to $700 per piece. If you can buy Carousel, maybe cheaper. Carousel you can get cheaper. Okay, maybe 100. Yeah, 600 to 700 per piece. About there. All right. So if you want to do the extreme, then it'll be a little bit more, maybe double the price. Yes. So it's around that range. In a way, they have created this equipment more to suit the home user, because for corporate company, they can always buy something more sophisticated, higher. But for home user, I don't think you need to do that. So for us, from home-based broadcaster, I think this is doing very well for us, and we are quite happy with it. So I think that is the first thing. Now, then the other thing, if you want to invest a little bit in terms of quality, okay, like cameras. Okay, camera is a must, all right? You can use a computer. You can use a webcam, all this, no problem. But only thing is that the quality is very different. Okay, so by the time you go into Zoom, you go into YouTube, the quality is even more affected in a way. So we will encourage you to at least use a good camera. Camera can be any camera. Actually, most of the family, if you have own home camera, you can use the camera as well. As long as the camera is able to see clearly. But you want a very high end, then you have to invest a little bit. But I don't think you need to. Okay, I don't think you need to. For a start, I always say that try first. Until you're happy, you want to upgrade, then you upgrade. So use your camera. I believe that most of you have a camera. And in fact, from very beginning, we use our iPhone, We just use our iPhone and do it first. Use webcam. We started off. We can see some of my recording in the earlier time. The recording is not very good, but we are doing it again since we have the instrument and equipment now. We are recording again. Okay. So there's the second thing. You need camera. And of course, computer, most of you have computer, so you don't need to really concern too much about buying it. You definitely need computer because the computer will help you to operate and also to open your Zoom and to connect the sound system into the... this ATEM had to be connected to your computer. All right, otherwise you cannot go into the Zoom. So from the Zoom is automatic. The moment the Zoom detected the input, they will see this equipment there, and they click on the equipment, the sound will automatically channel from the ATEM into the Zoom and then upload to the Zoom. So you need to have computer as well. And of course, internet, I think most of you have. And my advice is that don't use wireless internet because there'll be a lot of delay. Use a hard wire. Or over here in our room, are all using hardwire internet. Okay, so from the modem, hardwire, right from the source. That means from the fiber optic cable, and then we use a hard cable all the way until our ATEM, until our computer. So to delay to prevent any delay and interruption, because you use wireless, sometimes it can be affected quite easily. Okay, even our mixer is also using hardwire internet. So internet all on the same platform. So when you communicate within the devices, it's very easy. So you'll find that it's very helpful. Okay, so that is for the camera and then the ATEM. Now for the mixer, okay, you actually, if you are very straightforward, simple, you don't need to get a mixer. You can plug directly your microphone because the modem, this ATEM, the ATEM comes with two sound input. So you can actually input your mic directly into the ATEM. And then you can speak, and it's very clear because it was synchronized directly. We did that in the earlier days where we connect our microphone directly into the ATEM. And the sound will go into the system and broadcast, and it's very clear. Okay, as clear as what you're hearing now. Of course, you can't do adjustment. You can only hear your voice. If you're talking, it's fine. But when it comes to singing, you might not be able to get the performance because singing, you need to do mixing because you have instrument coming in. You have drums, you have guitar, you have keyboard. So if you have more instrument, then you need to go for a mixer, right? But if it's just purely maybe two input, two persons speaking or one person speaking with a guitar or with a keyboard, I think no problem. You can just go by with the just the ATEM alone. But if you have more instruments, like I see your worship, they have drums, they have a keyboard, they have a guitar, have voice. So you definitely need a mixer. So the mixer, again, you can get something simple. You don't need to get a mixer that is too expensive. We have this mixer is because we need the mixer for recording. So we want our sound system to be of higher quality, easier for us to manage the waveform. So that's why we need this type of mixer. In actual fact, we're doing just broadcast and simple, straightforward worship. You can just use a normal mixer. So normal mixer you can buy from anywhere. And it's not too expensive. It can be a Yamaha mixer or maybe the Allen and Heath is a lesser channel. You don't need so many channels. You just buy the channel enough for your usage. So that will probably cost you in the region of maybe 400 to 600 or maybe 1,000 maximum. That kind of mixer should be good enough to do the job. Okay. Now then, yeah, I think that's about it. But and of course for the camera, a lot of people they maybe felt that it's why are they not bringing the picture up? Okay, let me explain to you the reason. Now, if you have a camera, the camera will only be effective to capture unless you have enough adequate lighting. So over here in this studio, we have about 4 lights, and these are all LED lights. And of course, it's through the time when we progress, we realize that it need more light. We purchase a little bit more. So we have a key light. Actually, we also recommend that you have at least 2 key light. So key light, you can buy it from anywhere. Most of the broadcast, so-called the shop, audio video shop, they'll sell the key light. And you will need a key light because the key light is more for the speaker. So like for example, if I'm preaching and I want to record myself, so what you can see right in front of me, there's a key light. All right, there's a key light. Maybe I ask Constance to just show you through the camera, and you can see the key light. Key light is not very sophisticated. It's just very simple. Just only thing the key light is good is that you can control the lighting effect. So if you want a brighter light, you can do a remote control, or you can do a manual adjustment. Okay, and then this is only good for one side. Then we need to have a backlight. So backlight, like for example, over here you can see backlight, right? This is a backlight here. So this backlight is also important because this backlight will bring out my back and bring out my side. So from the side view, if you don't have light, you realize that the whole figure will start to disappear. And over here, I also have another light, and this light is basically to shine over this side because Reverend Ruth will be normally sitting over here to play the keyboard. So I need a light to shine over her, and also the back. So basically, you need some simple lighting. Now this lighting, you don't need to spend a lot. All right, it can be quite straightforward, and maybe the key light will cost you a few $100s. You can buy it off the online as well. I bought all this. In fact, most of it I bought from online. They send it deliver right to your home. Then you just very simple to assemble it. Okay, and so these are the basic for the backdrops. And backdrops like the green screen is also very cheap lah. You don't need to worry about the green screen. Probably if you can buy it from online, it costs you maybe $20 or $30 per piece. You want higher quality, you can spend about $50. Deliver right to your home. So normally I buy a few pieces because I just want to test it out and make sure that I get the right texture and material I want. Okay, so green screen, try to get a bigger, and don't go and buy those small. At the end of the day, you realize that you cannot project, you cannot do a lot of things. So you must get at least a screen big enough to cover one wall which is facing you, 3 meter by 2 meter, that kind of a size, I think is good enough. Okay, so the green screen you can see over here. Okay, so these are the basic things, and then of course microphone. You can have a microphone. You don't need to buy a microphone for the singers type. You can also buy those tabletop microphone, and a lot of these tabletop microphone are very useful, very good, and that microphone is help you to input the sound from into the ATEM. Okay. So this is a very straightforward. So going back to the diagram, just to do a quick summary. So from this diagram, you can see that this will be very helpful to give you a good guideline. And if you were to put together, say maybe the ATEM Mini Pro and the mixer, and I think these are the two that you need. And if the rest of it you have it, then you don't need to spend on it. But you want to invest on a camera, you can buy a camera. It can cost you maybe a few hundred to a few thousand. So depend on the quality you want. All right. So if you have members who are very good photographer, try to use their camera. I think that camera will be very good. Okay, you can zoom in, zoom out. Okay. So I think basically these are the things that you require, and other than that shouldn't be too complicated. Okay, Elder Joshua. Yeah. So anyone else? Any question? If not, then we are now at what time is it? 5:30. Okay, so it's just nice about 1 hour. Any more question from anybody? No, feel free to ask. Because otherwise, then we don't know when we're going to conduct another time of a training session. Praise the Lord. Yes, Pastor Andrew. Yes. Yes. Correct. Yes. Anything that go into your ATEM, it depends on what you input. If your camera is not sharp, of course you won't receive a sharp figure. But your camera is a good camera where you can like what you see here. You can see very clearly because we invest in a slightly better camera, and that's the reason why when you see us, you can see us very clearly. Because this camera allows us to do focusing, and we can do the adjustment of the so-called the white balance. White balance is very important. So it depends. But most of the cameras should be able to bring out quite good quality. So when you do a recording, the reason why you record into the SD card, because ATEM has this feature allow you to record directly. You don't need to record through the computer. In fact, you don't normally do recording in the computer. You record into the hard disk directly, so it won't take up the computer. The processing is also faster. Somehow I find that ATEM the recording processing is very fast. So you can record, and hard disk like this is not too expensive lah. You can actually purchase. You can buy a T5, T7 or any other brand. Can give you storage, but at least 1 terabyte lah. Because when you do recording on video, it can take out a lot of capacity. At least 1 terabyte. No output for the ISO only 2 output. For the Mini Pro is 1 output. No, you're talking about input or output? Okay, let's look at the ATEM. Now the ATEM have, like if you're talking about the Mini Pro, let's talk about the Mini Pro. Okay, Mini Pro, you have 4 input and you have 1 output. No. Recording has another connection. Yes. So the recording, there's 1 slot USB-C. The recording only come for USB-C type. So you must buy a cable that is using USB-C to do the recording. So the recording is only 1 for the hard disk. And then you have an output, a HDMI output, which is for your projector or for your computer screen. No. If you are buying a Mini Pro, you either do recording or you do to the Zoom. So this is the same outlet. Say for example, you buy a Mini Pro, and this Mini Pro have a USB-C connection. This USB-C, if you are doing the hard disk recording, then you plug your hard disk, then you will not be able to go into the Zoom. But you want to go into the Zoom, then you have to unplug the hard disk and plug in your computer into this connection. Then you can go into the Zoom. So you have to do the switching. But if you buy at least at extreme, you can have two USB-C connection. 1 go to the hard disk and 1 go to the computer. So you don't have to plug and plug and all this switching around. Okay? Yes. Correct. Yeah, I'll do. Recording is from the Zoom. I don't record direct. But because now we have the extreme, so we can record direct, and at the same time I can record the Zoom. So normally I'll do at least 3 recording. 1 is recording we can do a recording to the Zoom via the cloud, or you can do recording to the Zoom to your computer. And over here, because we have the extra USB-C connection to the hard disk, so we also record direct into the hard disk. But of course, recording direct hard disk, the recording is definitely so much more superb in a sense, because there's no interference, there's no delay, it's directly. Yeah, so that's the reason why you can see some of our recording are very sharp, and only those where we cannot capture, we have no choice, we use it from the Zoom recording, which is fine as well. But sound itself, we always use our own mixing sound. So we can combine the sound that we have recorded and put it into the Zoom picture. No. You still can do the Mini Pro, except that you cannot do it concurrently. Concurrently, then you need to have that. I'm not sure whether you can get a splitter. I'm not sure. I've not experimented that before. Whether you can get a splitter. Ruth was saying, Reverend Ruth said, not possible. So I think, but some of these things we need to clarify with the supplier as well. This is based on our whatever we share with you is based on our own individual experience. Mm. Mm. Of course, yeah, because we are recording directly. We are recording directly. Definitely, it's much better. Yeah. Okay. Who else? Any more question from anybody? Oh, okay. All good. All good, huh? So, so Pastor Andrew is okay. It's okay. We can end the session, and then, if any other questions, feel free to ask your member to direct the question to us. We'll try to help them if possible. Thank you so much for joining us today, and also want to thank my crews here, Ruth and Constance and Esther, okay, for helping out. So praise the Lord. We'll see you again.